Hey Vikas, welcome to today's session, and today would be our first session with respect to BW related ABAP. So as you're aware, the BW ABAP is really must for any BW consultant so that he can work independently without depending on an ABAP consultant. And as the industry is growing and our package as a consultants also increasing, obviously people expect from the senior folks like you or me to be working independently on any BW or BW ABAP use cases, starting from all the way from scratch to the delivery, correct? So
Yeah.
earlier we had a typical scenario like wherein and there used to be a dedicated ABAPer who sit with us, and you will be responsible for ensuring or helping us in writing a code and all. But nowadays the things has been changed. So we as a BW consultant has to ensure that we are also capable enough to handle anything independently related to any BW use case. So before learning any of the BW or BW related ABAP or any new programming language, you need to learn features of ABAP program or that particular language features and the features of the editor, right? So here is my blog wherein I updated very long back, but still the topic remains same. Coming to features
hmm
of ABAP programming language, the syntax of ABAP is similar to COBOL, meaning when SAP implemented ABAP programming language, they took most of the syntax reference from COBOL. Why? Because it was close to the normal English speaking, what you and me speaks, right?
hmm
Mostly the syntax is similar to plain English, so it is very easy for people to correlate. Then ABAP is, it is not necessary that you need to know COBOL language. It is just that as just an overview. The next statement is ABAP is statement and keywords are case insensitive, meaning whether you write a code in uppercase or lowercase, it doesn't matter. So there's a setting called pretty printer using which you can convert everything into lowercase or uppercase, which you will be seeing in a while. Okay. So similar to your BW object, the custom ABAP object has to start with Y or Z, and it can be up to 30 different, go up to maximum length. Info object maximum 9, ADSO maximum 8 or 9, right? Like that, even our
hmm
ABAP object also there's a limitation based on the object type. Clear?
Yeah.
And every ABAP statement or expression must end with full stop, meaning if you might be basically from engineering background, right?
Yeah.
So great. If you're basically from engineering background, you might have studied C programming or Python, right? Or Java.
Yeah.
In C, you have to, every expression has to end with what? Semicolon. Even in Java, same.
Yeah.
Whereas in ABAP, it has to end with full stop. Okay.
hmm Yeah.
And this statement, ABAP is case sensitive during comparison. Here we are saying ABAP statements and keywords are case insensitive. Whereas here we are saying ABAP is sensitive during comparison, meaning when you are trying to compare uppercase D01 with lowercase D01, or uppercase German with lowercase German, or uppercase Deutsch with lowercase Deutsch, that is different values, correct? ABAP
hmm
will treat those during comparison, it is case sensitive. It will also check the case. It is not only the values. Clear?
Yeah.
And token within a statement must be separated by at least one space. What does it means? When you write a select single star, between select and single, there has to be at least one space. Okay.
hmm
And these are the features of ABAP programming language. We'll see the actual syntaxes and stuff in a while. But any doubt so far?
No.
Great. So coming to the features of ABAP editor is similar to Notepad. All the shortcuts which you can use in your Notepad, Control C, Control V, Control X, Control S, all those things can still be used in your uh, the ABAP editor also, because it is almost similar to
hmm
the same. So Control C, all these things, and you can use Control plus F1 to toggle between display mode or change mode, or you can use the pencil symbol. You can also use Control plus F2 for the syntax check, whereas you can use the syntax check button in RS7, whatever you have seen. Control plus
hmm
F3 for activation of the program. Control plus less than symbol to comment, or Control plus greater than symbol to uncomment the ABAP statement. We'll see comments in detail, just on high
Yeah.
level. These are the shortcuts. Any doubts so far?
No.
Because right, yeah, great. So moving on, there are something called data types which we will be seeing in a while. What exactly is a data type? Any idea?
Yes, while declaring the variable, we have to define the data type, whether we will hold in this variable a character or date,
Right.
time, or an integer. Yes.
So every single programming language or every single
Mm,
object will have, or if you take any database, for example, Aadhaar database, or if you take a German or Indian government's passport database, passport
mm,
number is alphanumeric. It's a combination of both character and numbers, and it has to be in uppercase. Whereas if you take your first name, middle name, last name, or given name, these are going to hold a string type of data or character data. Mobile number is a combination of number from 0 to 9 plus and hyphen predominantly, correct? So
mm,
when you define any database, even in HANA or any database for that matter, or even if you're trying to hold some data in an system's memory, you are going to define what exactly the type of data which is going to hold it. Clear?
mm. Yeah.
So that is the data type. In ABAP, you predominantly see string, integer, character, date, or any other derived attributes or data type from one of these types. Clear?
Mm,
So we'll see that how to declare a variable and all. Before that, we'll see a very simple ABAP program from the scratch. We'll go in detail, and whatever we are going to see is optional for you, okay? But we are going with this approach because you can learn the object properly. Meaning we are learning ABAP by unknowingly learning classical ABAP reporting, which core ABAP people will do, okay? Because
yeah.
these are independent object wherein it will help you to understand the logic very well. You can write a code and you can also see what is the outcome at the end of the code also. Clear?
Yeah.
So then, okay, let us get into the system and see how can we create an ABAP program. And SA38 is a T code you might have heard,
Yes, I know.
which is used by
Mm,
core ABAPers. How you as a BW consultant will spend your time in RSA1, like that ABAP consultant will spend their time in SE38 or SE transaction code mostly. So you can log into ECC, BW, BW on HANA native on any system. I believe it may take some time for boot up. All the systems, whatever the syntax which we are going to discuss remains same. Maybe let us get into the system.
Are you also working with SLT?
See, SLT is something which you can consume the data as a, you might be, you said like you worked as an HANA consultant, right? So
Mm,
generally what you do, you will consume the tables being replicated via SLT. There's also a new concept called SDI, which is the advanced version of
yeah.
SLT.
Yeah.
SLT is going to be
Smart data
decommissioned.
integration. Yeah.
Yes, it is going to decommission.
Mm,
I worked on that. But not every project you will get an opportunity, okay, to be frank.
mm.
It is the
Yeah.
activity
On
of the
my
basis
on my
job.
project.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, on my project, I've seen that we have this SLT server, and there are some tables which are being replicated into
Yes.
BW
So the
system through
mostly the
the
SLT will be configured in any HANA or BW on HANA system for sure. Even if you're going with hybrid architecture. Main thing is you as a BW consultant won't be predominantly involved in replication. Okay, you might be
mm,
identifying the table what is really needed, and you will be telling, giving those lists to base system. They will be responsible for replicating. Okay, but
mm,
actual implementation you won't be doing. It is a job of basis guy. Once they replicate as an HANA consultant, you can consume the data, build a calculation view, merge the tables and all.
mm,
So great. So get into BW or ECC system. The ECC might say take some time to boot up, should be fine. So the logic still holds good. So now, so as I said, every custom object has to start with Y or Z. You can go with Y or Z
mhm.
and enter the
One
program name.
question,
Go
one
ahead, go ahead.
question regarding this server access. I would be interested in this server access because you wrote that I will get this BW as well as ECC. Then it would be really good for the practice, so I
Yeah,
can create an
this is what you
extractor
will
in
get. You will get BW
ECC.
on SQL, BW on HANA,
Mm,
ECC and SLT server also. Since these are demo systems, mostly it will work, okay, because I have been taking from very long time. So you can take it so
mm,
that you can refer the same codes and practice it.
yeah.
As I said, if you are
Mm,
interested, it will cost you 2000 rupees per month. Once
mm,
you, I will send a request for ID creation. There will be a dedicated ID created for you, and I'll keep you posted once you have it. You need it, right? In that case,
yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you can make 2K payment for the server, which is optional, as I said earlier. But it is good. Shit, man. There's no. The same system. Enter the program name in SC38 and click on create. When you click on create, there will be a pop-up window appears. Here in the screen, title and program type are mandatory field. Okay, rest of them are
Mm,
optional. Okay,
yes.
so type you can choose executable program. There are many other program types which is mostly used by core developers. We won't be much interested in all these, but we'll
Mm,
see include and model pool when we come to, not model pool, function group when we come to the
function
place
modules.
where we really need to learn that. But as of now, you can stick to executable program, and rest of the fields are optional. But you can set the property, but it is not going to change the functionality of your program. Clear?
Mm, yes.
So now what we have to do, you can click on choose anything. It does not going to change the or alter the functionality. If you want, if it is a test program, you can choose a test program. Authorization group, you can set the authorization group if somebody really wanted. The ABAP people will do that. Mostly we won't work on this object first of all. But if somebody want to set an authorization group, they will choose that. Application, from the drop down menu, you can choose any of the functional areas. Logical database, which is used by mostly the core ABAP people, not even core ABAP, even HR ABAP people. Okay, there's an area called
Mm,
HR ABAP. They will be using that. Okay, and selection screen, if like your BEX report, if the core ABAP people will create any of the ABAP report which has selection screen, there will be a screen number generated. Okay,
mm,
and editor log check act means, see, by default it is not checked. Meaning, ideally, you should not check this. Why? Because if you check this, nobody else apart from your current user ID can edit this particular object. Assume that you have been offboarded or you are on leave, any of your colleague will not be able to edit that particular object.
mhm,
Clear?
yeah.
So, post that, start using variant. If there is any selection screen like your BIX, by default it will start executing with the default variant. And Unicode check active. Maybe you started your career in which area, like when, which year?
Then you mean when did I start working?
Yes, when you completed your
To
graduation.
graduation I did in 2013.
Okay, great. So when you did your graduation, right, that time maybe the smartphones are new, even in India or outside
Mm,
also.
yeah. Mm,
So you might know Hindi, English, Marathi, Telugu, Kannada, Japanese, Chinese, even German is similar to English. So you
mm,
might have heard like ASCII standards, right?
yeah.
So those are the standards using which you can represent 126 character digitally, 128 I believe,
Mhm,
starting
mhm,
from A to Z, lowercase, uppercase, 0 to 9, some special character, all the German character with those dots above, right? So those are
mhm,
the supported character which can be represented digitally using your small CDMA phone or any phones or even in computer. Now with the advance in technology, every language has its own what you call it as scripts, and every script has to be represented digitally so that the rendering has to happen. If I'm showing in my computer, it has to show the the text in English, Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, right? if at all it is. But earlier it was not supported because only ASCII characters were there. And when you try to display the phone, which is not Unicode supported, you used to see that website character as box box, or else even if somebody sent a message, it was not able to read properly.
Yes.
So they suppose that there is a standard comes into picture called Unicode check, using which you can represent every single character of any identified language in the world as a specific for a specific characters there is a specific Unicode. Okay, that's the reason there's a explicit checkbox available. You should not uncheck this. And fixed point arithmetic, it will add just necessary library for your arithmetic and logical operations. Okay. So since it's a very first program, I just wanted to tell you so that you will have extra information. So then you will have to click on save, and after that you have to save in your respective package, which you are already aware, right? If you are giving a package, it will ask you to save under a transport request. If you want to create as a local object, you can create a local object. So it took us to next screen, wherein you see, since it is an executable program, we are unknowingly or indirectly creating an ABAP report. Okay. So now, while learning any programming language, what is the first program you learn? You wanted to print some message to the user, correct? In C programming, you will use printf statement, whereas in Java, you will use system.out.ln. Whereas in ABAP, you will use a command called write command. Okay. Okay. So if you see, every statement has to end with what? Full stop. Otherwise, it will throw an error. Check the syntax. Clear? Welcome to SAP BW ABAP. It is printed the output. So write command is used to print what? Any hard-coded value or even value stored in a variable. Clear?
Yes.
Assume that you remove the full stop and check the syntax. What will happen? It clearly says at line number 8, the last statement is not complete. Period is missing. Clear? Any doubts in this?
No.
So now we successfully created a program. After doing any changes, okay, your program will be in inactive mode or revised mode. Okay, you have to activate this. See the status inactive, come active. Clear? So
Yeah.
now we successfully created a simple ABAP program. Now let us see how can we declare a variable. To declare a variable, we'll use a command called data. Okay. So data variable name type string. This is the syntax, irrespective of whether you are writing, I am writing, somebody else writing, it doesn't matter. Okay. Data variable name type string. Clear? So my variable's name is LV message, which is of type string. Clear? It can hold string type
Yeah.
of data. Now what I will do, I will initialize that with the hard-coded value, whatever we have given over here. Understood? Then I can also use write command to print the value stored in a variable. Clear, guys?
Yeah.
See, there's no difference between previous version of the program and this version of the program. The only difference is what?
Variable.
Variable. Got it? So
Yeah.
wherever you come across data statement, you can see there is something which has been declared. Okay.
What if we use instead of string character?
You can use that. That would be the next example. I just activated, it accepted, correct? It got activated also. See the output? It's printing only W.
Just one.
Yeah. So whenever you declare a variable of type C, by default it will accept a character type data, but whose length can be maximum, it can store up to one character. If you want to specify the length explicitly, you have to specify length 30, 40, 50 by adding length keyword. Okay. Understood?
Yes.
Otherwise, what you have to do, there's another way you can do that. After your variable within small bracket, you can specify the length. Clear? Both
Yes.
are one and the same. There's no difference between this and that. You'll come to SAP BW ABAP. Clear?
Yep.
Any doubts in this?
No.
Great. So we successfully learned how can we create a simple ABAP program. We also saw how to declare a variable. So then we will see the next operator called mm, arithmetic operation, which is used to do arithmetic addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Okay. So again, this is the
Mhm.
most commonly used operation in any transformation or in any logic, correct? So let us learn this. How can we use this operation? As you know, these are the symbol plus, minus, star and forward slash is used to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Mod operator used to find out the remainder. Okay.
Mhm.
And the syntax is result variable is equal to operator variable 1 operator variable 2, meaning content of variable 1 will be multiplied with content of variable 2 or constant also. Clear? And the result will
Yes.
be assigned to left hand side variable. Any doubts in this?
No.
Great. Okay. So let us create a new program. So now again same thing, declare a variable. To declare a variable, what we will use? Data
Data.
lv num1 type high, data lv num2 type high. Okay. You can also use colon after data so that you can declare more than one variable separated by comma.
Mhm. It's like chaining
Yes,
statements. Mhm.
type high, lv sum prod, result of division type high, lv underscore remainder type high. Okay. There is no difference between these or this. Either you can use separately or all together, but
Mhm.
ultimately it is exactly same for the individual this thing. What is that? Just give me a second. So now you can initialize the value. Num1 is equal to 104, lv num2 is equal to 50. Okay. So now I wanted to calculate the value of sum. So sum is equal to what? lv num1 plus lv num2. Clear?
Yeah.
Similarly, lv num star lv num2. If you want to divide one number with other and find out the how many times one number will divide other, you can use star operator. Okay. Sorry, the mod operator. Clear?
Yes.
So now the result of all this operation is stored in where? Your variable. Now you can use write command to print. Actually, as a BW consultant or in any of your routine, we cannot write command. Okay, you can write in only executable program. But this will help
Mm.
us to understand whatever the logic which we have written is giving the same result at the end or not. Okay. So some clear.
Yes.
So check the syntax again, activate it, execute it. The sum of 104 and 50 is 154. Product is 5200. You can divide 104 by 50 two times in whole, and the remainder would be 4. Whenever you have this
Mhm.
kind of requirement, you can go with arithmetic operators. Clear?
Yeah.
So any other doubt over here? All
No.
good. Main thing is
Yeah.
we have to understand this. Rest of the things for our understanding, we are writing all these things. Clear?
Mhm. Yeah.
So moving on, there are something called conditional operator which we'll be seeing in coming days. So For checking equality check, we'll use either EQ or equal to symbol. Not equality check any or not equal to, like less than followed by greater than. In order to check one number is greater than other, either you can use GT or greater than symbol. If you want to check greater than or equal to, either you will use GE or greater than or equal to symbol. Got it?
Yeah.
For less than, either you will use LT or less than symbol, less than or equal to, either you will use LE or less than followed by equal to symbol. Either you can use character combination or symbol combination. Okay. This
Mm-hmm.
conditional operator you will be using along with conditional check statements such as if statement or where class of your select statement and all. Clear?
Yeah.
So the next operator is logical operator. You might be already aware about logical operation, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is your uh, operations such as logic gates. The gates you might have
Mm-hmm.
learned during your bachelor's or PUC, right? Plus
Mm-hmm.
two, AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate. So,
Yeah.
or else when you want to, when you will use AND condition, assume that you are offering me a PR, or else the you have been transferred from India to the German-based company, and acceptance criteria from your end would be, or else even their end would be, you will be offered with 50,000 euro per year or per annum, plus
Mm-hmm.
you have to ensure that you are not going to leave the company for another 2 years. There are two class. The salary would be
Mm-hmm.
this for another 2 years, plus you have a bond for 2 years. Only if you are accepting
Mm-hmm.
that, then only we are initiating intercompany transfer. They are giving two options,
Mm-hmm.
correct? So we
Yeah.
have, and we have to use there, because both the condition has to be satisfied. Then only you will be you are going to execute some logic. Similarly, or when you
Mm-hmm.
will be using, either you are going to bargain, or else say that either you offer me 50 plus as a reallocation benefit of 20,000 euros or 10,000 euros, or give me everything 60 as a fixed pay per annum. You are giving our condition. Either condition 1 is true or condition 2 is true. You are going to accept the offer if one of these conditions are true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in business case also, if the condition 1 or condition 2, in that case you will go with our operator, otherwise you will go with AND operator. Clear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any other doubts over here? All good?
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah.
So we'll be using all this operator when we go with this statement and all. Okay. But you need to have a
Mm-hmm.
better understanding on this. So now, so we'll, as I said, we'll take an example of your BW scenarios to learn the fundamentals of ABAP. So converting string to uppercase or lowercase, you might have learned, as you said, you are working on process chain monitoring or ABAP support project, right? What would be your day-to-day
Mm-hmm.
task? You might get an error saying like you got there was an info object being used in one of the DSO or ADSO, but till then it was getting an uppercase data in uppercase, but you started getting one of the record in lowercase or few of the records. So since the info object is not lowercase enabled, it is going to throw an error, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So can we avoid this?
We used to do in the transformation. We just
Yes, at the
uh,
transformation level, either you can write a field level
yeah.
routine or in
Mm-hmm.
routine or start routine to convert the data from lowercase to uppercase. Otherwise, you have to enable accept lowercase checkbox to info object, but that option is going to be costlier. Why? Because it may impact all the existing places where all this info object has been used, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's the reason we'll go with this. Writing a routine, either you can write this at routine level or else you can also write at data source level if it's a custom data source. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now how can we do that? Go back and create a new program. Okay.
We can also use same program and comment out the old part.
Yes, we can
So
do that
mm,
so that we can save some time.
save time.
Yeah,
Mm.
we'll do that. So now again data lv underscore message type string, right? So lv underscore message is equal to Venugopal. Okay. So now
Mm-hmm.
it's in mixed case. So let us print the content lv message. So now I wanted to convert this into uppercase. There's a statement called translate statement. What you want to translate? I want to translate value stored in this variable to uppercase. Clear? So translate command is used to convert a value stored in a particular variable to uppercase. Now after translate I am executing again. So after, clear? Sorry. So is there any syntax error? No syntax error. Okay. See, before execution it was Venugopal because in mixed case after translate statement it is in uppercase. Clear? All you have to introduce is this statement inside your routine. Clear? But there is a need for you to convert something into lowercase. In that case, there is an optional syntax using translate only. Instead of two upper, you can give two lowercase.
Too low.
Okay. So, and whatever the way we are learning the ABAP program, right? You can make use of this way of our approach to go and identify your object, or if there is any logic to be implemented in a routine, you don't have to wait till the DSO or the transformation to be created. You can come and implement the logic in this kind of test program, and then what you can do, you can just go ahead and copy paste the same logic from here to there. Got it?
Yeah.
So here you can also do the testing and ensure that the kind of logic which you are writing is going to work using a write command. Correct? So assume that there are some multiple spaces in between. General, this is also one of the example, right? As a BW consultant or BW on HANA consultant, there might be a data where you have a description data coming, but earlier it was fine. Between two words, there used to be a single space. Now there is a new site went live, or new site, or new project went live, or new plant went live. So they are introducing multiple space between one value and another value. Got it? So in these cases, what we can do, we can we have to have a need we have a need to remove the spaces. Correct? Business is like this data look awkward, remove the space and retain only one space between two words. So can we do that? Clear? So this is how the data looks like. Now I wanted to, there's a statement called condense. Okay, condense. What you want to condense? I wanted to condense value stored in variable. Okay, you can print for our understanding purpose after. The value was something like this, then you are using condense statement. After executing condense statement, everything, the spaces has been removed and retained with only one space, and then it is converted into upper or lower. Okay, so you can use the combination of syntaxes also. You see, I am using condense, then I am using translate. Okay, there won't be a single syntax to give achieve the complex result. You have to break down your requirement into least possible achievable expression, and then you have to achieve that. Clear?
Yeah.
So
So the
assume that
condensed statement will remove every extra
space and retain with
empty
only one
spaces,
space. But
only
there
one.
might be a,
And what
go
mhm.
ahead, please.
What if in BW we face sometimes the problem that when we get the data from the ECC system and there is one space at the end of the
Even that will
sentence,
also removed.
that will be also removed. Okay.
Yes. Okay. But assume that you wanted to don't want to have a space at all.
Mm.
Correct. There's an
Yeah.
optional syntax at the end. You can specify as no gaps. If you specify that, all the spaces will be removed.
Hmm.
Clear?
Yeah.
Any
Yes.
doubts in this?
No.
Great. So now let's just we saw how to translate, how to do the condense operation. We'll come back to if statement maybe in the next session or sometimes at the end of this session. So there is another BW scenario in your transformation, which is you might have a data present in your transformation, correct?
Yeah.
So in your transformation, you have a data. You are loading data from source to target. The source can be anything, but in the source provider, it can be data source. You have first name, middle name, and last name in 3 separate columns, whereas in your target info provider, you have only one column called full name. So how can we map the 3 separate columns from source to single column of your target? Clear?
Yeah.
So in order to do that, we have an option called concatenate statement. We can make use of it. Clear?
Mm-hmm.
So let us go back and comment out these guys. So now again data lv underscore f name type g underscore ham name type string lv underscore l name type string. Okay. So now you need also one variable to hold lv underscore
Full name.
type string. So I wanted to initialize all this value with okay. So now I wanted to populate concatenate value of these 3 columns to this column. How can I do that? Concatenate. What you want to concatenate? I wanted to concatenate value stored in first name, middle name, and last name
Mm-hmm.
into lv underscore
Full name.
lv underscore full name. Okay. Now you can use write command to print the value lv underscore full. There you notice after every single expression you have a full stop. Clear? So you see the value has been concatenated and populated to the final variable, this variable. So concatenate is working fine, but I need to have at least one space or comma as a separator, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, there's an optional syntax at the end. You can specify separated by hyphen, full stop, or comma, or space, anything.
Mm-hmm.
Clear?
Yeah.
So now there is a need for you to convert everything into uppercase. How can you do? After concatenation, you can use translate lv underscore full name to uppercase. Clear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any doubts in this?
No.
All good?
Yeah.
Great. 3. Okay. So now there could be another requirement which is reverse of this. Assume that you are having a transformation wherein you are getting a data in source provider as one of the column called lv full name, which is getting data in the format of first name comma middle name comma last name, but you wanted to split this into 3 separate column of your target.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Yeah.
How can we do that? So in order to do this, what we have to do, we have to do the reverse operation of what we have seen so far. Clear?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll comment out everything. lv full name is equal to Venugopal M N. Okay, so now we can print the content of full name. Now I wanted to split the content of this first name comma middle name comma last name or data in this format to these 3 columns of your target. How can I do that? There's a command called split. What you want to split? I wanted to split a value stored in a variable called lv full name. Where you wanted to split? I wanted to split at comma. Okay. Now
Mm-hmm.
after splitting, where you wanted to store the result? I wanted to store the result in these 3 columns. Clear, guys? Now, just for our understanding, we are using this write operation. Whereas in your transformation, you can go and trigger the load and you can see the output in the corresponding column of your target, correct? Any doubt so far, Vikas?
No. Uh, these programs which you are creating, will you be able to send me?
Unfortunately, the copying is not allowed when you take a server, right? The same server
Mm.
you can
Ah,
have an
then
access to the
same server.
program. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
and you
good.
can take a screenshot or something like that. But the copy is not allowed from this server. It is not within my system. In the
Mm.
remote server, it is not allowed, but you can take a snapshots.
Yeah.
So see, every place it is printing Venugopal, Venugopal, Venugopal. So either we might have not changing the variable to print the corresponding value, correct?
Mm-hmm.
There, my data was in this format Venugopal, M, Nanjapa, but now we split it into 3 separate columns or variables. Clear?
Mm-hmm.
Any doubts in this, Vikas?
No.
So maybe we'll see one more example and then we can conclude the session for today. So you can use separator when you can use a split operation whenever you have a common separator between two different data, correct? At the
Mm-hmm.
values. But assume that there's a date column YYYYMMDD. In SAP, the date will be in the format of YYYYMMDD. Similarly, for example, posting date, it will be in year, month, and day. Company code US01. There is no separator. So when there is no separator from this date column, I wanted to read the value of year or month or day. How can I do that? If there was a forward slash or comma between year, month, and day, I would have used split command, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now I cannot use that because there is no separator. So in order to achieve something like this, we have an concept called offset operation. Okay, offset is nothing
Mm-hmm.
but based on the position of the data we have to read. Okay, data lv underscore message type I, or else can you go with type side item. We're declaring a variable of type date lv underscore message. I am just assigning with side item. You know what exactly side item will hold?
System date.
Right, it will be in the format of
Mm-hmm.
YYYYMMDD. Right. So now
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to derive the value of year, month, and day. LV length 4. Clear?
Mm-hmm.
Any doubts in this?
Mm. What we want to achieve here, we want to
Derive
separate
the
out
value of year,
the
month, and day.
each month and date.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now LV year is equal to, I wanted to read first 4 character from this, correct? From where?
Mm-hmm.
LV date. I will call this as date. Okay. Year value I wanted to derive from date, but I don't want everything from the date. I want only the first 4 character. So in SAP, the position start with 0. Okay. Starting from 0th position, read next 4 character, right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
How will specify that? Plus 0 of 4. 0 indicate the position, 4 indicates within small bracket whatever you are specifying the number of character which is to be read from that position. Can you try for month?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For month, it should skip the first four and read the last two. So four and in bracket two. Huh?
Right. Starting from 4th position, read next 2 character. Similarly for the day, it is 6 of 2. Clear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any doubts in this?
No.
Year, month, day. Not date, day. Clear?
Mm-hmm.
You can see year is 2022, month is 9 and date is 18. Any doubts in this?
No.
So the difference between offset operation and the split operation is we'll go with split operation whenever we do not have we have common separator between two different data, whereas we'll go with offset operator whenever we know the length of the data is constant or the format of data is constant, but we don't know have any separator. Clear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any other doubts over here?
No.
Great. So then we
So
will
the split operator we will use mostly with the strings, and offset operator we will use mostly with the calendar year or such things. Yeah,
anything where
with
there
the
is
dates.
no, yes, where there is no separator, we will go with the dates or calendar year or company code, or if you know the format but you wanted to read different data set, and that has to be told by
Okay.
the as part of requirement. We cannot assume and
Mm-hmm.
do. So if they are saying there's a complex key you are getting, so what would be the complex key and what would be the position, and from that position how many more record or length to be read, all those things they have to tell us. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any other doubts over here?
No.
Great. So you have some more time so that we can
Yes, I
see
have.
fill statements, and then for tomorrow we can keep the internal tables and work area. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So generally when we use if statement, whenever we wanted to have some condition part of our expression, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to pay 30,000, then only we will proceed with whatever the training, or else if you are
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
going to offer me what is that, assume that there's an assignment, you're asking for per hour rates, and per hour you might be expecting around 40 euros in Germany. So if the amount or billing rate is at least greater than or equal to 40 euros per hour, then only I am accepting offer, correct? You
Mm-hmm.
have
Yeah.
checking some condition.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, we will go with if statement. Even this if statement will be generally used in our normal day-to-day speaking or the conversation also, correct? So even in
Mm-hmm.
any programming language also, you have an opportunity to do this check. So different format of if statement is if every if has to end with end if. Okay, we call it as if block. So if condition check, and if the condition is true, the control will come inside the if block and execute the logic which you have written and come to an end
Mm-hmm.
if. Clear? In this
Yeah.
case, if the condition is true, it will come. If the condition is not true, we are not handling that. So if you want to handle that, for that you have to have a else block. If check for the condition, if the condition is true, it will come and execute the logic present in if block. If the condition is false, it will go and execute this logic. Clear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any doubts over here?
No.
Great. So we'll see how can we implement this. And there is another way of writing an if statement. Assume that you wanted to check multiple condition. If the condition 1 is true, condition 2 is true, condition 3 is true. If the condition 1 is true, it will execute this logic and it will skip everything else in that block, because there is
Mm-hmm.
already a condition which is satisfying, correct?
Yeah.
So if the condition 1 is not true, it will go to condition 2, then it will check. If condition 2 is true, then it will skip all other checks because it's already true and it executed the logic. Clear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you can check for anything. Data lv underscore ccod company code. type C length 4. Okay. So now LV code, you are just specifying this as DE01. Okay. Now you wanted to check if company code equal to or equal, use EQ or equal to symbol. Okay. DE01. Then you can say you wanted to apply some logic 1, right?
Mhm.
1 comma LV underscore C code. I am just printing logic 1 followed by the company code. What it does, it prints apply logic 1. Why? Because the control is coming here. Why? The content of LV code and is exactly same as DE01. Okay. But
Mhm.
assume that in your LV code the incoming value is lowercase DE01. So if you remember the very first point, what we discussed, ABAP is case sensitive during comparison. Now here lowercase DE01 is there, here uppercase, you see it is not
Mhm.
matching, and we are not handling that. If you want to handle that, you have to add a else condition not matching. Matching or DEFAULT. Clear?
Mhm. So whatever we are writing inside the inverted commas are always case sensitive.
These are case sensitive, yes.
Yeah.
These are just hard coded value, right?
Mm.
Yes, you are right. So now assume that you wanted to check for multiple conditions. Then you can go with else if it is D01, D02, D03, 2, 3, 2, 3. Clear? If it is
Mhm.
D01, it will come inside and apply this, execute this. If it is D02, it will come and execute this. If it is D03, it will come here. If it satisfies here, it will skip all other thing
Mhm.
and come to the next
Yeah.
available line of the code. Clear?
Mm. Yeah.
So if
In
nothing is
this
there,
in yeah.
D01, D02, 03, it will check all these three conditions. It is not satisfying. So else is like if none of the above conditions are satisfied, control will come and execute this.
Mhm.
Clear?
Yeah.
Any doubts over here?
Mm. No, but one point I wanted to make that this is quite similar to case statement, huh?
Right.
In this case, we can also use case instead of if because we are
Right, you can do that.
use.
So
Mm.
case and if both are going to do the same or give the same result. Okay, how you can make use of the case statement? Case, you wanted to check value of this variable, correct? But
Mm. Yeah.
in when you can specify what are the different possible values when D01, D02, D03. Okay, when D01, whatever the logic you are writing in if statement, you can write the same thing here.
Okay. Yep.
Clear?
Yep.
When others, apply logic default. Understood?
Yep.
Any doubts over here? I guess
No.
we have to comment out this. That's the reason it is printing. All good?
Yep.
So, and I was talking about some logical operator, right? So assume that
Mm.
you wanted to apply logic 1 for if the company code is DE01 or IN01. Okay, you can use R operator.
Mm. When any of the value is true, then
True, then it will come and execute this.
right.
Or
Mm.
else you can also rewrite the same code. For example, for IN02, for D02, IN02, you wanted to apply logic 2 only. But either you can copy paste the logic 2 times or else you can just go with the OR operation and put IN02 over here so that you can avoid repeating the code at multiple times. Clear?
Mm.
Any doubts over here?
No.
So that's how you will be using OR operator or AND operator. And generally we cannot use AND means You have two different conditions at all altogether, correct?
Mm.
Here for a particular variable you are checking for what would be the variable among this or this. At any
Mm.
given point of time the variable can hold only one value, not many value, correct?
Yeah.
So this is how you can translate if statement to case statement. Any doubts over here?
No.
The only limitation with your case statement is you can use case statement only with character or integer, not with decimals like 100.00 amount field you cannot use it.
Where cannot we use the amount field?
See,
Can you repeat your last sentence?
whenever you are using a case statement, the variable value you are going to check, right? This has
Mm.
to be either character or integer. It cannot be decimal values like amount.
Okay. Yeah.
Got it? In that case, you
Yeah.
have to go with if else statement only.
Mhm.
All good?
Yeah.
Great. So with that, we come to an end of a session. So we can stop at this point. In the next session, we'll go ahead and understand or start with a topic called internal tables and work areas. So far we
Mhm.
have understood how to declare a variable, what exactly is different types of data and commonly used syntaxes. So in the next section we'll see the introduction to internal tables work area, and we'll see different operation on internal tables and work area and all. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all with respect to today's session. Thank you so much and have a good one. If you're looking for online training on SAP ABAP, BW, BW ABAP, BW on HANA, native HANA, feel free to reach out to me on my mail ID, that is Venugopal M N 1988@gmail.com. You can also call me on my mobile number, that is +91 followed by 97399839992. Thank you so much and have a good one.